Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright, guys, on tonight's episode, I have got to share with you some hilarious stuff. Chris Murphy is one of the senators who's in charge of gun control in the United States Senate federally. He just threw the White House under the bus. He joined in with David Hogg, Igor Volsky, all the heavy hitters on the gun control side who have been really amping the pressure up on Biden and the White House. We're going to discuss that right now. I can't wait to share it with you. It's linked in the description box below per usual. And let me hear from you in the comments on this one, because this means something. Now I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor for this video, Armed American Supply, and then we'll get right into the juicy details. Our sponsor, Armed American Supply, is a small, family-run business owned by a retired law enforcement officer and his wife. They design, print, and ship everything in-house from their shop in southern New Jersey. Currently, they're giving away your choice of $10,000 in cash or a Bass Pro Shop gift card, which is ending tomorrow night. Right now, you can earn up to 20 times entries for every $1 spent on select items. Those items tend to sell out pretty fast. If you are the type who loves quality Second Amendment and blue-collar apparel, I think you may be interested in checking this out. And there's a link in the description box to let them know that I sent you that way. Check them out. I appreciate you guys doing that. But now, let's get into these juicy details, because this is actually big. When they're starting to lose their gun control advocates, this is massive. All right. Biden faces renewed pressure to act on gun violence amid congressional impasse. Advocates and some Democrats say he should finalize the regulatory crackdown on ghost guns and pick a new ATF nominee and consider other executive actions. Now, we did a video relatively close to this previously last week where we were talking about the gun control advocates, like the March for Our Lives, the gun controllers, Every Town for USA. They were putting pressure. Well, now you've got Chris Murphy jumping on the same bandwagon. This is big, guys. Check this out. We're going to set it up. Washington. On the 4th anniversary of the situation in Parkland, survivor David Hogg delivered a tough message to Democrats. If you fail to use your power to act against gun violence, you're no better than the NRA. Whoop. Harsh words there, Davey. But let's hear what Igor has to say. I'm going to Igor, not Igor, Igor. Igor Volsky, the executive director of Guns Down America, a group advocating for fewer firearms, at least they come out and say it, said President Joe Biden's actions, quote, pale in comparison to what he promised in his 2020 campaign, when he ran as a candidate uniquely situated to defeat the NRA. So those are pretty sharp barbs. Not going to be honest, but listen to what else Volsky says. Quote, we understand the structural difficulty and systemic obstacles to making progress on guns. You and I just call it the Bill of Rights, but whatever. The question we should be asking in light of catastrophic increases in gun deaths is, has the president done everything in his power to address gun violence? Absolutely not. He's left too many pieces on the table. So they're straight out blaming him, putting the pressure up. But this is where this changes, because now Chris Murphy, who is like Mr. Gun Control in the Senate, to remind you, Chuck Schumer said earlier last year, we're going to get Chris Murphy on this, and he's going to figure out a solution to this gun control situation. He flat out called him out and said he was going to do it. He's been doing this for years. Listen to what he says. I think the White House can do more, said Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat, Connecticut, a Biden ally and outspoken proponent of tougher gun laws. Quote, I've been talking to the White House recently about some additional steps they can take, including executive orders, finalizing the ghost gun order, and appointing a new ATF director. So there's a series of steps the White House can take in the next 30 to 60 days that will show the advocates they're serious. So in this article, the advocates are upset. They're shooting barbs and lobbing missiles across the bow, right? Well, now Chris Murphy's saying, yeah, they're kind of messing up and giving them a time frame. Do you see how this is setting up? Now, this is what Cornyn from Texas said in response to the executive actions. Executive orders obviously are not ideal. They can be challenged in court, and they probably will be, he said. It's sort of an admission that they're not willing to do the hard work of building bipartisan consensus, which is what we talked about on this channel when they went the executive route because legislative shut them down and judicial is just nailing them to the wall. The executive actions, while that's the only option they have, it is susceptible to judicial overview. And that is a really important piece. And I'm going to wrap this up with one last quote from Igor. Quote, there's a great political cost to overpromising and underdelivering, Volsky said. faulting Democrats for thinking they can, quote, simply get away with promising you the moon when they need your vote and then turn around and say, you just don't understand these complicated politics. Have you met a politician? When you're talking about completely violating a Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights, it's going to be a little difficult to say, we're going to ban every single gun in the United States. This guy's like, yes, finally. And then he's disappointed when it doesn't work out because it's the supreme law of the land, which is what you and I cover every single day together. That's what I've got for you guys. The tide is turning from the Democrat advocates against the White House. And I hope this brought some joy to your evening, and I will see you tomorrow morning on the Bullet Points. I'm Braden. See you later.